Okay, today we are talking about what to do when you're not getting movement with your manifesting, with your manifestations or the things that you're wanting to create. And I should rephrase that because you're manifesting anyway. Everything in your reality is a manifestation, but it's whether or not it's the one you want. It's the what you've been working on isn't showing up. What to do when you're not getting movement on the manifestations that you are working on and your reality just feels a bit stagnant and not much is happening. So I wanted to remind you of a super powerful technique that has changed my life, continues to change my life, and I know from some of your comments is also changing some of your lives as well. So I wanted to talk about that, but let's start with the basics and start at the beginning, which is always where I like to start. As a good reminder, consciousness is the one and only reality. Consciousness is the one and only reality. Reality that you experience in your 3D with your five senses is the reflection of consciousness. That in itself, if that's all you get from this work, that will transform your life, I promise. That is the ultimate game changer right there, because what it does, it flips everything to the other way around, to how we've known it to be, which is that we think reality is what's real. We think that what we experience with our five senses is real. And it is on that sensory level. It is very real. But it's not it's not happening outside of us. It's not coming from some weird universal place. It's coming from consciousness. It's a reflection. And we have the capacity to change reality by going in, not by going out. You can actually change reality by going out, but it will rarely stick around. It's not sustainable because you're not going to the root cause of what is creating your reality. So the assumptions and the stories that you're holding in your consciousness, meaning your subconscious, which is the projector of the movie of your life, that is what's creating your reality. And when you want to change something, you go in there and you change the assumptions that you're holding. Even if you don't know what they are, it doesn't matter. You can just guess based on what your reality is telling you. So this is all about rewriting the story. This work, and this is why I love it so much, is because it is so simple. It is so simple. That is not to say it's always easy, because we are coming up against and we're bumping up against old unfavorable stories that we didn't even know were running, and they are hurting us and causing us pain. And how on earth why would I want to do that to myself? Well, you're not doing that to yourself consciously. It's just that these assumptions have been there a really long time. We didn't know that we were the cause of our reality, so we didn't know that we could change them. We didn't know we could rewrite our past. But yes, we can, thanks to the law of assumption. And that actually brings me into the topic of today. So what do you do when you're creating a future manifestation? So there's something that you want to create that you haven't experienced before, and you're using all of these amazing techniques with the law of assumption. You're scripting, you're visualizing, you're having inner conversations. You're really doing some incredible work with living from the end of this amazing manifestation that you're wanting to experience in your 3D. And even though we do the work in consciousness, you are absolutely entitled to results in your 3D, because that's why we're here. We're here to experience ourselves as God in human form, meaning to experience our desires with our five senses. That's the game. That's why we're here. So you're absolutely entitled to these results. So if something's not working, if something's not happening and your reality is just not showing up, and you're doing all of this work and you know you're doing the work, you're disciplined, you've been committed, and nothing's showing up, you're well within your rights to go, what the hell is going on? And of course, the more we look out into reality then, and we're looking for it, the more that does say that it's not here, we don't have it. But after some time, especially if you've been working with something for a really long time, it's really hard not to go, what is going on and where is it? Why isn't it showing up? And I wanted to remind you of a really powerful technique that Neville talks about called revision. Now, if you're not into revision, give me a chance with this. I want to help change your mind, because revision is the ultimate game changer. And creating a new future and revising the past work so well together. They are like salt and pepper. They go together like peas in a pod. Future creation, creating a future situation and revising your past absolutely go together like husband and wife. That's actually probably outdated now. Wife and wife, husband and husband, whatever floats your boat. They just go together really well. So got to be so careful of how you talk these days. So what do I mean by that? Now, I just want to say that everything that you've been doing has been great. Like all of the great, all of that good work that you've been doing, you haven't made a mistake, you're not doing anything wrong, and nothing is wasted. That is all good work, and that has paved the way for your future manifestation. But if things aren't moving, if your reality is not reflecting it back after some time, and you're like, okay, something's not working here, it's not the techniques. You've done everything right. You've done everything right. It's just that it's like a block in the road. You've got there's a rock on the highway that you just can't see that is stopping the flow of your manifestation coming in. And what that means is that there's an assumption that is dominant, that is running in opposition to what you've done with your future creation. Now, the way to figure out, so with revising is super powerful. You are not changing, you're not rewriting the past, you're not revising the past. You're revising your memory of the past, because the past does not exist. The past may have happened in the 3D. It is not happening now. It's dead. It's over. It does not exist. And you might have the evidence that it once existed, but right now it doesn't exist. All that exists is your memory of it. And that is what's keeping that state of consciousness associated with that memory active, and that is what's getting pushed out and reflected back. And if that's been there a while, if that's been dominant, and that's real and that's in your system, that is going to get pushed out and reflected back, and that is going to work in opposition to your future creation. Now, it's super simple to clear that block. All you want to do is ask yourself the question, what are my past experiences with this thing that I'm creating? So if you're wanting to bring in a new relationship, a new love relationship, and nothing's happening, nothing's working, the question you want to ask is, what is my past experience with relationships? And I'm going to say from the ages of 0 to 7 or 8. Within that period of time, what was your experience with that topic that you're wanting to create? What was that? So there'll be something in there. There'll be an experience in there that caused a negative assumption about that thing that you're wanting to create in the future. And that's all that needs a little bit of attention. And what you do is you go to that memory, you rewrite the memory to how you would like it to be. Just one memory. You do not have to go back in and dig through all that crap. Just ask yourself, what's the memory you have? What's the past experience you have in the topic that you're wanting to create that thing? If that makes sense. So if you're wanting to create a relationship, a love relationship, and nothing's happening, and you've done all the work, and you've done everything, and you're still not getting any movement, then the question to ask is, what is my past experience with relationships from the ages of 0 to 7 or 8, basically? Within that time frame, what was my experience with relationships? What was going on? What was my parents' relationships like? Did I have any crushes on anyone? Was there any trauma or abuse that went down? Anything at all? And if there is something in there that is unfavorable, that is in opposition to this future creation that you're working on, all you do is rewrite that memory. You replay that memory out as you would like it to have been. And you just ask yourself, okay, so that happened. What would I like to have happened instead? And then you play it out in your memory, and you play it out over and over and over until you've convinced yourself that that's actually the new memory. That's what happened. Because the brain doesn't know the difference between what it sees in terms of what it saw happen and what you're now telling it that it happened with your imagination. Remember, the past and the future are just concepts of consciousness. They're not real. They just exist in our imagination. When you think back to the past, you're doing it in your imagination. When you think to the future, you're doing it in imagination. The only thing that is real, that exists now, in terms of reality, is this moment right now. This moment right now that you're in right now, that I'm in right now, this is the only thing that is real. Anything else is just a concept of consciousness. And therefore, you can change it. You can revise it. And once you revise that, then that will clear the way for all of the good work that you've done with your future manifestations. And it just helps to remove that negative assumption that's been dominant, that's standing in the way of you getting what you want in the future. So I hope that helps. It's just, that has really worked for me. I think I've shared this story many, many times, but when I was selling my house, and selling it in a very prominent place in Sydney, very popular place, like there should have been lots and lots of people, and suddenly on 1 week, no people showed up, like there was no interest. And I'm like I really wanted to sell my house, my apartment, and there was suddenly no interest. And I had to go, all right, what's my past experience of selling property? And I had never sold a property before, but my parents had sold a property when I was young, and I did not want to sell that property. Like that was my childhood home. And so I had to revise that story. So I had a negative assumption about selling, and that was showing up with my current apartment that I really wanted to sell. So you can see how these assumptions, if they're unfavorable, like this, and that was a really strong assumption that selling is bad. To sell a property, like do not sell. Like I did not want to sell that place. I revised the story of that memory so that it was an awesome experience to sell. And we went on and we bought this beautiful house as a family, and it was like this awesome story. And my house sold within probably 2 weeks. It was so fast. Like it is fast, this stuff. This stuff, if something's not moving, like I know this stuff is fast. You know this stuff is fast. If something's not moving and it's taking like a really long time, it's because there's a past, there's something going on in, like there's an old assumption that hasn't been revised and it just needs some revision. Revision is super duper duper powerful. It is a game changer. And when I first came into Law of Assumption again for the second time, I bypassed revision because I'd done so much therapy, and I was like, I do not want to go back to my past at all. I am done with my past. Revision is not therapy. No, it is not nothing against therapy. Therapy can really help you understand what went on in your past and what the story is and why you are where you are in your reality. But that is not the end of the story. You get to rewrite it. The past is not fixed. You can literally change your past. I do it every day. And then it gets reflected back. The new state of consciousness gets reflected back in my present, in this beautiful 3D reality that's occurring now. And that sets up a new future. I hope that helps. If you'd like support with anything that I've talked about, you can find the details in the box below this video or at my website, youaretheone.com.au. And please remember, you are the amazing creators of your reality. You are the superstar of your show. You are the producer, the writer, the director, and the actor in your movie. What you assume to be true will be so. So assume the best for you. Assume the best for everyone in your movie too, and you will have an amazing life. And this is my wish, my vision, and my prayer for you and for me too. I will look forward so much to seeing you in the next video. Bye.